Hey guys, this is Tommy with Tommy Nation Politics. How's everyone doing today? Tommy Nation Politics. Free thinking, innovative, totally open-minded. Tommy Nation Politics, your new independent progressive media, guys. And we've got a show for you today. Straight from the Secret Show and the YouTube channel Extra Bulla Live, I have my guest on with me, Uncle Warren from Extra Bulla. Good to see you, Bulla. Bulla,
Hello.
rocking everywhere. Do people ever do that to you?
What is going on? Hello, sir.
How's it going? Good.
Man.
Can't complain. How's everything with you?
Man, it is, we are in the dog days of summer here in New York City. So that means extra humidity, delicious. And, but it's not quite as hot. In fact, we're doing, it's 71 degrees right now. So I can't complain. A couple of weeks ago about this time, it was like 85 at midnight. You know what I mean? That's, that's usually how that weather goes, you know. But you're in Texas, so you know about crazy weather too.
Yeah, it was 105 here. So I mean, what can you do, bro? I can't. It's so hot here, I can't barely sleep. But it's good to know that. I mean, even though we just keep on trucking on, you know, we opened up the Alaska to drilling, and the military-industrial complex is well on their way to now Taiwan, probably right before they hit China. So, I mean, the 1% own more, well, about 90% combined. Nothing's fundamentally changed as far as that goes. But I do say we got an election up and coming. And I know that, are you really running? Are you running for a president, Bulla? Is that still going on?
I'm running in more ways than one, Tommy. You know, I'd like to say that I'm running for president for reals. But I didn't even get my own signature. So I'm looking now to be someone's vice president. And I don't think any of the three candidates like Cornel West or RFK Jr. or Marianne Williamson are looking for someone like me as their vice president. But if there's someone, you know, a little bit more out on the fringe, you know, someone who, you know, like slow dancing and, you know, talking on the phone when it's raining, you know, I'll be your VP. You know, I don't even care if you're running for president, you know, as long as you meet those standards.
Oh, that's kind of romantic. That's pretty romantic, actually.
That's how I am, man. That's how I roll. I'm like Esther. That's how I roll. You see what I did?
Hey there, Esther. Don't be jumping off the diving board there. I mean, it's interesting to know that, you know, you're now settling for vice president, but at least you know your standards. Speaking of which,
well, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the intention the whole time, was settling. There was never really any full-throated effort at becoming president of the local library association, much less of the United States. That's a lot of work, man, you know, and I get tired pretty quick. You know, I have to have some snacks and some breaks, you know, so.
You know, the local library organization, that sounds like the best place for Marianne Williamson, I think.
Yeah. Crystals and Orbs 2024. Woo! Let's go interdimensional travel. What?
Oh my God, bro. You're even worse than Karine Jean-Pierre.
Oh, stop it. I don't lie as much as that bitch. You know it.
I've answered your question. She's hilarious.
I know, right? Those guys are such, I mean, at this point, see, you know, but when I used to work in news, back in the day, I would, you know, we'd actually see press conferences where there was like a back and forth between the reporters and the press secretary right there. They would ask legit questions. And, you know, a lot of times they would do what these people do now. I'll refer you to the Department of Justice. I'll refer you to this, that. But more often than not, they would answer questions, at least. You know, it would be kind of vague, but at least they would answer. At least they're not these people who are just, that's the easiest job in the world, is just staying at a podium and say, I'm not going to answer your questions,
I think.
right?
Well, I don't think Kelly McEnany did any of that. She was a little bit more clever. I think Jen Psaki started this whole "I'll forward you to the." Like these guys. These guys at the Washington Press, they're super lazy, right? They already write the narratives for the establishment. Like, you
Sure.
think they're really gonna call the Department of whatever when she forward? Like that's hilarious. It's such a cop out because she knows, Corinne Jean Pierre knows that these press people, they're so lazy they would never just follow up with some department. That's why they're there, sitting there asking her questions, expecting her not to lie. When this administration's literally broken all their campaign promises, they've done the exact opposite of all. Did you notice that? Exact opposite of all their campaign promises. But the existential threat of Trump, I mean, I guess that's the only thing that keeps them going. That and the cocaine found in the White House. Those two things.
Well, and you notice too, they're still doing the same old thing. It's like, well, we gotta keep Trump out. We gotta vote for a guy. Come on now, I know he's a motherfucker, but come on, he's our motherfucker. Come on. He groped a few people. Who cares? He put a lot of black people in jail. Who cares? Yeah, he's a good guy.
I honestly feel like what I want to tell the shit libs is maybe if you guys were not horrible people, maybe Trump would go away. I feel like he's literally the reason why. If you guys would just stop being shit libs and stop, doing the shit you're doing, neoliberal policies and outsourcing jobs and stuff like that. If you guys just actually were liberals, maybe Trump would just go away. But I don't think they want him to, because then what would they talk about? Who they would blame?
Well, they don't want him to go away. They created him, man. What are you talking about?
Totally.
He is the boogeyman. He is the in the flesh, a lot of flesh, boogeyman that they can point. He's the Grinch that's going to steal Christmas. He's coming to Whoville. He's going to steal all your toys, you little assholes. You better, line up and
what
do
toys?
Right,
We don't have any toys. We don't have any
toys. Well, that's the thing. That's what Democrats tell you. Oh, you have all these things that we gave you, and you're like,
right?
Are these invisible things that you gave us?
No, you can't see them. You're racist. You're racist if you can't see them. Honestly, didn't you know that?
I can't. Wait a minute. That's kind of ironic. You're not supposed to see color if you're not racist, right? So, but now, yeah, you're racist if you don't see color. I can't win. Fuck this bullshit.
You really can't. You really can't win.
Where's my technical difficulties button? Oh wait, this isn't my show. I'm sorry. I usually have buttons. So.
Oh right, I need to get some buttons. But the thing is,
no, you're fine.
The thing is, though, like I'm kind of like content with this election primary not being the only loser around. That I'm not gonna have any progressive policies. I'm not gonna get legalized marijuana. I'm not gonna get health care for all. But at least there's some people who are bigger losers than me. And one of them decided to go on the Jimmy Dore show. And have you seen this this Marianne Williamson Jimmy Dore take? For the life of me, I don't understand why she did it. She keeps going on places where she's gonna have to talk about things, and she was completely unprepared. She came in with her stump speech that she always talks about. We have the 1%, the corrupt interests, and Jimmy Dore just like asked her questions that he always talks about on his show. If you watch Jimmy Dore's show, guys, he's always talking about COVID lies. He's always talking about military industrial complex, and he's always talking about corruption, right? And it's like Marianne Williamson went on that show and literally didn't ever watch the Jimmy Dore show ever, because she was completely unprepared for any of his questions. Like, what did she expect him to ask? It's weird. We're gonna watch some of it, guys. I wanna get Bulla's take on this. But one of these comments is, "Don't let him fool you." I think he's talking about you, Bulla. He's just trying to sell a book. I think that she's better off, honestly, just selling a book. She's not equipped for the office of the presidency. She's about as equipped as any neoliberal. And the fact that she's claiming to be a progressive makes us look even worse. So I feel.
She's running. Look, everybody thinks she's running for office, but really is selling a book. I say she's and pretending to sell a book. She's actually selling a book and pretending to run for office. She knows she's not going to win. And what kind of message? I know, a lot of times people who have some sort of notoriety might run knowing they're not going to win, but they're trying to get some sort of message out there, right? That it's a big stage. It's probably the biggest stage they're ever going to get on to get their message on. So that's what they do. They run for president just so they can get their message candidates. They're not actually going to win. That's with her. And the thing is, she's a message candidate, but her message sucks too.
Right. So so if you have a bad message and you keep on going on shows that make you look like you're a third grader that didn't do their homework, does that help you sell books? Does that help you sell books? I don't know. But the mythical Jesus I wouldn't buy anyway. So this is Marianne Williamson, guys. We're going to do a little commentary on this. This is probably the worst interview I've ever seen from a presidential candidate ever. And so buy Marianne's book. I guess Warren, if you want to do the honors, you're controlling this now. But let's listen to the beginning, guys, and we'll pause it and we'll make some comments.
We have special guests with us. Marianne Williamson is here. She's a best-selling author, lecturer, activist, as well as a 2024 Democratic candidate for president of the United States. She previously ran in 2020, and in 1989, she founded Project Angel Food, a nonprofit that delivers meals to ill and dying homebound patients. In 2004, she co-founded the Peace Alliance, a nonprofit grassroots education and advocacy organization focused on increasing U.S. government support of peace-building approaches to domestic and international conflicts. Please welcome back to the show, Marianne Williamson. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Jimmy. It's nice to see you, and thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on. Now, last time we talked, you weren't sure about Medicare for All or Julian Assange, and I think you have different stances on both those things. How do you feel about Julian Assange now?
So pause it real quick, Warren. Pause it real quick.
So
first of all, he starts off talking about the fact that she was wrong about two things, right? Two things already. It was Julian Assange. First of all, how could you be wrong about Julian Assange? How could you honestly think, unless you're a Democrat in the Democratic Party, that he was somehow responsible for what? The Russian collusion that wasn't? The hacking of the DNC server that wasn't? So this alone literally should have disqualified Marianne Williamson from running for president because she's perpetually not correct about anything. So I feel like that intro, she's a peace candidate. But she supports the war in Ukraine. It's all just a walking paradox. It's weird. But you can continue the video if you want. Unless you want to say something.
Nah, I'm good. The good stuff's coming.
Yeah, it is.
Charges down day one.
You would not prosecute him. You'd let him free. Let him go
Absolutely
free.
correct. Yeah, absolutely. On Julian Assange, when we spoke before, which was years ago now,
Right.
I wasn't so sure. I'm certainly sure about that now. And on Medicare for All,
I wasn't
you
so
were
sure.
one of the people that I think started to really change my mind. Actually.
Okay, so you're a full backer of Medicare for All?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
completely.
that certainly separates you from the rest of the Democratic primary pack, because Joe Biden is determined to not let people get health care. He didn't give us the public option he promised, and he's now repealing Medicare for people that had it during the pandemic. So, Marianne, how did the Democrats?
But she's gonna be like when all of them are dropped out, she's gonna be like, well, you gotta vote for Joe Biden.
She will. And by the way, Jimmy changed her mind on Medicare for All. I mean, she just comes in with her stump speech and just superficial platitudes like Democrats do. And she has no answers. He cuts right into her at first light with Julian Assange. She doesn't even have an answer for that. I was foggy. I was wrong. I didn't consult my crystal ball on that one. Oopsie. But you know what, Jimmy?
I had the wrong crystal that day.
God
Don't blame me. Blame those goddamn rocks. It wasn't me.
It was
Putin.
Oh my God! It gets this whole thing just gets better and better. But yeah, continue if you want.
Democratic Party become the party of censorship and war?
Well, I don't, when it comes to being the party of war, I think both of them, I mean, both, when it comes to big oil and defense contractors, both the Republicans and the Democrats are in lockstep with their corporate donors on that. So I don't think of it as the party of war any more than the Republicans are, actually. I mean, you can look at individuals, but I just think of the military-industrial complex as having its grip on both parties, actually. So it's really more.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's good for her on that one, I guess, right?
Well, I mean, she doesn't think of the Democratic Party as a party of war because she's part of the Democratic Party. So that's probably why she doesn't do that. But, the Republicans, right? So they're just as bad, right? So, I mean,
But the Republicans.
let's just
Yeah,
make
how is that?
let's just make a blanket statement, and nobody's really wrong because we're all doing it,
How is it? How do people not know that Democrats want war? They keep approving, even though they're not in power to, they still vote to approve these. Was it 23, 24 billion just today? They asked for it in Ukraine. They're like, yeah, give them the money. Give them the money.
Right? Bernie Sanders, the oversight, right? They voted for the oversight on giving money to, and Bernie Sanders literally voted for no oversight. Isn't that weird? I mean, wow.
No. Yeah.
The guy who was talking about
Joe.
the 1%, the corporate interests capturing our government. We're gonna have a government that works for the people, by the people. Are you ready for a revolution? No oversight, though. No oversight on the revolution. I mean,
Bernie Sanders' greatest hits on KTEL Records.
Does he even do?
Are you ready for a revolution? No.
If I was him, I would just be too embarrassed to do an interview with anyone. So he probably doesn't.
But look, quick sidebar. Okay, what was like the tipping cringe point for Bernie? For me, it was when he was on stage with Public Enemy, right?
What? He was on stage with Public Enemy.
Was it Public Enemy? That he did one. I don't know if it was 2020 or 2016, but he did a rally. I think it was Public Enemy. Yeah. So they made a big deal. There was posters. There was like badass posters and everything, man. Yeah. So that was Bernie. That was all part of that hype train to get you into the Democratic Party.
Yeah, because that's so cool. I mean, that really gives me what I need to survive the cost of living and rising inflation and stuff like that. Those rallies with Public Enemy. I mean, that's all I needed. Yeah. Really.
You know what? Saying you're going to have a revolution and running inside the Democratic Party is saying you're going to have a big you're going to have like 8 or 9 kids, but when you have sex with your wife, you're wearing like 3 or 4 condoms. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, it's not going to happen. It's not going to fucking happen.
Why this woman is literally, it must be a book because. And to be clear, I didn't want to criticize her at first because she was running as a progressive, and I heard her stump speech. It was Bernie Sanders' 2016 stump speech. She borrowed it from him. It sounded good. Kyle Kalinske was on board. Crystal Ball was on board. I didn't want to I'm all about coalescing and moving our movement forward. So I'm just like, y'all can have your toys or whatever. The whole time I'm thinking this is not serious, but she's literally embarrassing the shit out of anybody who endorsed her. Just because of her stances, and they're not progressive. And by the way, her attitude, and someone said on the stream, her body language is saying the exact opposite things that she's talking about. Saying everything in her body language tells me that she's just an elitist woman who literally doesn't want. In fact, during this interview later on, she's she doesn't want to be talked to like that. Oh my God, bro! I can't wait till we get to that part. But yeah, go ahead. Please don't talk to me like that, bitch. You're about to serve the American people. I should be able to put my foot on your desk and say, "Hey, look, Marianne, I'm your boss. What are you gonna do for me?" That's how this country was founded. So these elites running it for president, she's not she's going for the wrong job. She should go for Miss America.
She sounds like, okay, and this is for the old people in the audience, and you know who you are. She sounds like Mrs. Howell from Gilligan's Island, She talks like this, we're going to the Hamptons this weekend with Buffy and Muffy and Miffy and Piffy and Stiffy and Pippy and Pippy. If that, for one thing, the voice. I know if that's her natural voice, then okay, nothing really you can do about it. But still, it just sounds like she's gonna clutch some pearls any second, Tommy. She's just like that voice, you know. And then that just like anything she says, nobody's gonna listen to that shit. She could be
energy. Like, you're not gonna listen to her.
I got the cure for cancer. They'd be like, "Fuck you, pearl clutcher." Nobody gives a fuck. You know, Mrs. Howell, motherfucker over here. Right, so that's how it is. You know, it's all about optics, and it's like how to deliver a message. She doesn't know how to do it. She's just country club lady. All she knows how to do is talk to the manager. That's all she knows how to do.
Oh my God, A+ for that. Warren nailed it. Also, City Girl, you nailed it too. She's doing the Warren. Remember Warren like accused Bernie of like what, sexual rape, or saying something on stage. I remember Bernie slapped my ass and said a woman can't run for president. Oh dear.
Right. Yeah.
Same fucking card. So
yeah.
I don't know how this guy helps you for running for president. You don't look strong if you're doing that stuff. To me, in the first place, I don't think we need Karen as president of the United States. So
no, she's straight up. She is straight up. She's that lady who called the cops on those black people in the park doing the barbecue, man. That is straight up her.
Oh
Put about 20-30 pounds on her. That is straight up her. And put those fucking Kmart sunglasses on there that she broke into an old broken down Kmart, because Kmart don't exist no more. That's how cheap those sunglasses were.
Marianne Williamson probably ran it. That's probably why it doesn't exist anymore. Also, yeah, so she called the cops on Jimmy during this interview too. You want to play more of it?
Or how did the U.S. government become so hostage to Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and Boeing? That is the question in my mind.
I mean, even people who don't take corporate money in the Democratic Party are for the Ukraine war, and they just vote for military budgets. They vote for that's the reason why it stands out, is because the Democratic Party was supposed to be a left party. They were supposed to be anti-war. Everybody always expected the Republican Party to be right-wing and pro-war. So that's why it's a different thing now. And everybody in the Democratic Party votes for war. They're all war pigs. And there's a big faction of the Republicans who aren't. In fact, we just covered a story with Matt Getz, who wants us to get out of Africa.
Fast forward it a little bit. This is all boring because like he's trying to explain to her like all the things that she should already know by the time she gets on his show. Because Jimmy's not a surprise. This was not a surprise. This is what he talks about all the time. And if you're going to be on his show, he's got the clout to say, hey, Marianne, these are the issues I care about. And so what are you going to do about these issues? But for some reason, she like literally didn't have any answers at all. And he's literally got to explain to her all of these things. So, at this time.
Where do you want me to put it up to? What time?
I'll put it like to 5 minutes or halfway in. Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're aware that in 2014 that the CIA couped the Ukrainian government with the help of the right-wing Nazis, and then the people in the eastern part of Ukraine in the Donbass didn't want to go along with that couped government, and so Ukraine started shelling them. The government of Ukraine.
So pause it real quick.
The government started shelling.
So like literally, we're halfway in, guys, and he's been explaining her all of these facts, and throughout the entire fucking time, all she can do is make faces like he's saying something retarded.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you see the eye rolling? She was like, when he said right wing Nazis, she went,
oh God.
It was that Robert Downey Jr. meme, where he's like, and he goes,
Jimmy, you can't say Nazi on television. I like to censor people, and I don't like those words.
Dare you? That's 100% Corinthian mahogany, you cretin.
Mahogany. Yeah, so
my inner Buffy there.
By the way, guys, she just explained to Jimmy Dore previously that the reason she supports Ukraine is because she wants to help the Ukrainian people. They're suffering, right? So now Jimmy has to explain the whole reason why Putin invaded in the first place, because she's the president. She's running for president of the United States, and she doesn't know. So let Jimmy explain this to Marianne, and hopefully we can follow along. Hopefully we're not all as dumb as Marianne. Gilligan, the skipper.
And so they had the peace agreement called the Minsk Accords, which we now know which was going to give the people in the Donbass, they would stop shelling them, and that they would give them some kind of independence because they were the Russian speakers in that country in the east part. And so Ukraine never followed that peace agreement. And now we know, because Angela Merkel and others have revealed it, that they never intended on following that peace agreement, and they didn't, and they kept shelling those people in the Donbass. And when Putin invaded, it was to stop that shelling. So were you aware of that history?
I am aware of what you are saying. I am not enrolled in your interpretation of exactly what you are saying. I am not. I do not.
So what do you disagree with?
I'll tell you the problem I have with it.
So she's not. She's not enrolled. She's not enrolled. What does that even mean? She's not enrolled. She's not enrolled to what? The School of Truth.
She's not picking up what he's putting down, is what she's saying.
So he talked really slowly. So how come? Why do you think she doesn't pick it up?
I don't think she liked the if Pig Latin is allowed on your show, the Otzi nay. I don't think she liked that too much. The Queen of Creamy. She said, are you going to be washing clothes today? She said, oh yeah, I'll be airing and them out too. Airing them out.
Oh my God.
Hey.
That was kind of cheesy. Arrogant about. People say
I tell you, man, they're not all gems. They're not all gems, brother. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
Arrogant about, bro. You're telling my dad.
You know what that was? That was the burnt popcorn you get. You're getting the nice fluffy in the Jiffy Pop, and then you get that burnt ass motherfucker. He flew too close to the sun.
Props to you. Props to you for trying, though. Props to you for trying. Let's continue the video. See if Marianne can figure this out, because obviously she doesn't enroll in the fact that this did happen. The Azov Battalion Nazis did join forces with Zelensky's troops. They did shell the Donbass. So at this point, all Jimmy is saying is things that happened, but she's not enrolled in that part. So let's find out. Let's listen and find out what she's enrolled in and whether or not that has reality in it. So let's see.
I do not believe that Ukraine is nothing but a puppet of the United States.
You're adorable.
You're adorable.
So if we stop funding the Ukraine government...
Wait, we got one second.
Yeah. Yes.
That was
good idea.
What did she say?
I do not believe that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, I don't think Ukraine's a puppet of the United States. She is just so precious. I'm sorry. Okay, here we go.
That Ukraine is nothing but a puppet of the United States.
You're adorable.
So we're not going to agree on that one.
So if we stop funding the Ukraine government, the Ukraine government shuts down. Do you know that? Do you know if we stop funding the Ukraine government shuts down, right? We're paying every person in the Ukraine government salary. We're paying their Social Security. You know that, right? Or maybe you don't.
Let me ask you if you know, because I don't like being talked to do you know? So
I'm asking, do you know that?
Wait a second. I make more money than you do selling books and crystals. I make more money than you because Oprah's my friend, and she literally gave me all of this access to Hollywood celebrities that buy my merch. And I really don't need this shit. So, again, guys, this is my biggest problem is she's running for the office to serve at the pleasure of the American people. One of her constituents is Jimmy Dore, who has actual issues he talks about all the time. He's trying to actually address these issues to someone who wants the office. This is like coming into an interview for a job and literally not acting like you want the job, or if I came in as a waiter and then I was dressed up in jeans and like a fucking skinny top and I was wearing roller skates. And then, do you like people? No. I mean, do you know what you're signing up for, Merritt? I don't think these people understand what the office of the President of the United States is. I think they think it's Miss America beauty pageant or something. Do you think that she knows what she's running for, or do you? I don't get it. This mystifies me, honestly. She told one
Well,
of
I
her
hope so.
constituents she doesn't
Well,
like you
I
talking
hope
like that.
this is the second time she's doing it, so you would figure she knows what she's getting herself into, right?
This is just like Joe Biden saying, "I don't work for you, buddy." Just the same thing, right?
Look, I'm gonna fill y'all in. I'm gonna go a little inside baseball behind the scenes. When I used to work security at one of the at the Hearst Tower here in New York City, I would see people come in like what's her name? Who's Gail King? If she had an office there, Dr. Oz would come in, and I'd see all these people come in, and they were nice to security, but to everybody else, they were let's just say, you had to treat them like kid gloves and stuff like that. So the fact, and those are the circles that she runs in, like the Gail King. It's because she's like Oprah's pal or whatever she says, and Gail King's in the mix too. So if those people are doing that kind of stuff, surely she is too. I
think she needs to really have a real job for once. Like, she needs to flip burgers. She needs to work in construction. And then when her boss tells her, "Marianne, get these papers done," and Marianne, clean up the fucking drink station. I don't like to be talked to like that. I don't appreciate you telling me to do the work that I'm supposed to be doing. You're not your tone is off. I would really like to see Marianne literally say that shit to someone, where she has to literally have to make her a wage and have to pay for apartment on $15 an hour. And do you think she would do that?
Exactly.
I don't think so.
Well, no, I don't think she would do that. But I think if she was serious, if she was one of these people, she would know that if she was smart enough, she would know that she is out of touch with poor people and that she needs to get in touch with them, so that she would do things like maybe take a part-time job or something and live on shit wages and live in a shit apartment or something like that, just to feel that, get that empathy for them, and then maybe she works harder for them. But that's not going to happen, because those kind of people don't do shit like that. That's dream stuff. That's shit you see on a Netflix made movie.
That'd
right?
Be like trying to serve the American people and try to do their will and stuff and promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty.
Well, it's all optics. Whatever you say, you could wish in one hand and shit in the other, see which one fills up first. That's what they do. It's just all talk. And Gen X and my peoples, we've always been like, we're from Missouri. Let's see the shit. Let's see you doing shit.
Right.
And then we can measure you as a person by what kind of things you're doing and not what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you can see her go on all of these shows and literally not even care enough to investigate what the fuck anything about anything. So my point really is that this is so embarrassing for progressives. Warren, this is so embarrassing, bro. She's parroting Bernie Sanders' platform, and she literally has no idea what she's saying. And I'm gonna have really, guys, after this interview, as a progressive, I need to call for her to immediately stop running, or just stop calling yourself a progressive. But this is literally
you can do it right now if you want.
Okay,
do it right now. You're live.
Marianne, go ahead and sell your book. Nobody cares that you yelled at your campaign staff. They hate you and they move far away from you because you're abusive and a narcissist. I don't care about that. You tried, and I think we're all better off if you just sell your book. Okay, I'll even buy it if you like. If you just stop running now. If you just stop parroting shit that you don't understand, and you stop making us look bad. I don't want to see any more elitist Upper East Manhattan Karen moms try to talk about the working class anymore. It just makes my stomach sick. Please stop doing this. Please stop. Yeah. Please stop mocking us, guys. Please stop mocking us, Marianne. I feel like
it would be like it would be like if either one of us could say we know what it's like to live the billionaire lifestyle. Right?
Oh, I remember when I was a female middle-aged woman that sold crystals. Yes, I believe I do. I can relate to that.
Why, I still am one. I just had
I identify as one.
fancy. What? Oh,
I
hey,
identify as a crystal, so Marianne should be able to read me. And I told her just sell your book, bitch. But moving on, I'm taking the bitch out. I don't want to be misogynist, but she really is a bitch. Like, I'm not saying the women are bitches, but she really is. You'll see why, guys, in a bit. So go ahead.
Between
So
the United
now I'm asking you, did you know that?
I know that there are all kinds of business dealings.
So you don't know that? You didn't know that?
That there is money being paid to Ukraine.
That we are paying their entire government salary. You didn't know that? And that's how we could force a peace agreement tomorrow, is because we would just take back that money and their government collapse.
Now wait, Jimmy. Hold on. You know, she's gonna call it. She's gonna get him on mansplaining.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, you didn't know?
That's her specialty, bro.
No?
It's her specialty.
Yeah. Here we go.
You're right.
Okay.
That if we completely withdrew support from Ukraine, the government of Ukraine would collapse. I certainly understand that. The difference you and I have is that you seem to think that would be a great thing. I don't. I don't think the Russians having complete control of Ukraine and getting their way in this situation is good for Latvia, Lithuania.
They don't want complete control of Ukraine. They just want control of those areas that were, being attacked. The people in those areas themselves said, "We want to be Russians, please. Fuck these motherfuckers trying to kill us."
So in one breath, she actually admits that Jimmy is right, that their entire government would completely fall apart because of us. But on the other hand, she jumps to that to just automatically jumping to the conclusion that if because of all that corruption and money, you think that'd be a good thing. She just projects that on Jimmy, because she can't square the fact that she's literally just said that we're funding Ukraine. She knows that Ukraine is the most corrupt nation in Europe. She's familiar with the history, and she knows her stance is completely batshit crazy and also hypocritical. So the only thing that she can do is project onto Jimmy that he's a horrible person that wants people to be murdered, right? Right? It's the same thing as you don't respect the troops, right? Just like this is just
right. The whole rhetoric thing. You got to respect the troops. Yeah, it's the same thing, and nobody's falling for it this time. Gen Z's not falling for it. They I don't even think they know what's going on. I think they're just buried their face in the phones and said fuck it. But yeah, so yeah, you're right. It's I'm totally stoned and I lost our train of thought. What were we talking about? We were talking about
I had to get high to listen to this interview because she literally it was so bad. It was so bad that I really honestly I had to watch it in little pieces because she was crying the entire time and she didn't answer a single question. Notice that every time Jimmy asks her a direct question, she never answers it. She always What do you think about Julian Assange? Well, I had this and that. What do you think about Ukraine? Well, the policy of this and that. She doesn't ever give a direct answer, and that's probably because that's why Jimmy asked her, are you aware of this? Because she's really giving off the fucking airhead, candy Barbie girl vibe, where she's literally she's giving off the airhead vibe to me. And I think that's authentic. The most authentic thing about Marianne Williamson is her Barbie airhead vibe that she has. So, I mean, are you aware, Marianne? Because are you aware that you came on the Jimmy Dore show, Marianne? Why do you think she did that? By the way, why would she come on the Jimmy Dore show, bro? Does she not think that you would do this?
I could say that in three numbers: 1.22 million subscribers. Like last night, what was it? Yesterday. He's been hitting 13,000 people on average.
So 13,000 people saw her actually not know what the fuck anything was. She embarrassed herself in front of all those people.
13,000 people saw some crystal and orb chick that had no clue about what's been happening to Ukraine in the last 10 years whatsoever.
So
nothing.
This is literally
crystals and orbs. That's all she sees.
So
and Oprah's ass.
Think about her judgment as president of the United States, guys. If she could literally go onto a show because of the subscribing number and literally go there and fail and embarrass herself and not do any research at all, think about how she would run the country. she would run the country purely on superficial bullshit, like subscribing numbers, right?
Right.
That's my
Listen,
point.
okay, all right. So I'm glad you brought that up because, all right, to be fair, you know, because, all right, because when he interviewed RFK Jr., I thought that Jimmy was ill prepared for
Right.
that interview, for that part of the interview when they were talking about Israel.
Agreed.
The rest of the stuff, he did all like kind of, he started with a little softball and then, got into a little more stuff. A lot of stuff that, make the common sense stuff that makes sense, all the COVID stuff that he was, that everybody was agreeing on the stuff. And then they got to Israel and Jimmy and he was, and RFK Jr. was throwing out some stuff. He goes, well, I don't know about that, man. I got to get that, and I just felt bad. I'm like, Jimmy, this was your opportunity, man. You knew you were going to be telling, and I'm not trying to shit on Jimmy. It's his fucking show, but
yeah,
it's like you knew you were going to talk about Israel, So
right.
anyway, so now he gets to make up for it by grilling, Marianne, which is not hard to do. I mean, the bar is so low, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Plus, RFK was just like busting out shit like, "Hey, they named streets after Jew killers." Like, Marianne should okay, if you're gonna pretend to run for president, at least throw out some shit that's gonna confuse Jimmy. Because like this whole I'm on this side and I'm on this side. I think we should do both things. I think we should all just fucking pray. This shit is like he's just like gonna cut through that shit. You should at least like try to yell out some confusing shit that will try to confound him. But
well, that was the thing too. RFK was spouting
talk
out
about the Jew killers.
He was talking about the same kind of rhetoric that she's doing. This kind of like making all flowery and stuff like, oh, he's trying to take over the whole country. He wants to take over Europe. This whole scare tactic part of the propaganda thing. She doesn't understand that's all bullshit. If she doesn't understand that's propaganda, she has no business being president because she's just going to be part of the problem. I'm sorry. Sorry, lady.
Yep.
I
agree.
We'll see you back at the metaphysical bookstore, okay? Be sure you bring your own bag. We don't have plastic.
Your application for employment for president of the United States has been rejected. I wish you the best in future endeavors, and have a great night. Have a great night. So,
whee!
So
right.
We don't have to play any more of the video of Marianne Williamson. I think everybody gets the gist of that. You can move on, guys. I just want to say officially today at August 10th. I proclaimed the campaign of Marianne Williamson dead and is done. She's over, and she literally did it to herself, purely on the fact that she thought it would be a good idea of subscription numbers, and she fucked herself hard, being an airhead in front of millions of people. So think about that, guys, and think about how she would run the country. Any progressive that is supporting her still, just guys, it's not a good idea. Think about what would happen if she did get the presidency. Ugh. So, guys, it's just better if we just let her go and let's just not forget about her. She's done. RFK, what do you think, Warren? Is he done? Is RFK done? Should we just should we proclaim his death too?
Well, I mean, it was DOA from the very start. I mean, the only thing he's going to do is take votes away from Biden.
Well, see, the thing about this administration is that you think that, but they go after him just like they go after Trump, and his numbers rose, right? So the Democrats, because they're so unpopular, they can accidentally, literally keep him in the race because they just so dramatically smear him, as an anti-Semite. They're so bad that they make other people look good. That's the Democratic Party.
Well, they just want them. They want all the distractions out of the race, right? They want Cornell, they want Marianne, they want all them out. They've already said there's not going to be any debates. They're not going to do any of that business. And and so RFK, he's still going to score some points within the party. I got problems with him on Israel, of course, in his takes with Palestine. And, I don't know. Him saying I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, that just, I almost vomited when I heard that. I'm just like, no, that is not the message of 2023. We got to get away from that. But Bernie tried it, didn't work. He's trying it, it's not going to work.
So
Marianne's
yeah,
trying it, it's not going to work.
yeah.
Come on.
I think Russell Dobler from Due Dissidence, he coined it perfectly. He said that RFK he's an establishment Democrat, but from an earlier time, but he's still establishment. He's just from the 60s and 70s, back in the day where we.
Well, part of the dynasty. It's still a dynasty. The Kennedys still have power. That didn't stop with our the deaths of the RFK and JFK. So, and I'm always suspect of people who are that close to power anyway. We need somebody from the outside. I don't know. I've said this on Twitter before, and I probably said on some of my shows too before that. I'm not one of these. If I had my druthers, I'd outlaw all political parties because I think they're a threat to national security. I actually wrote a Substack about that because I'm a pretentious asshole and I like to mention Substack. But that's not the point. The point is that and I totally lost the point. But the point is, what I was talking.
Well, the point is you were right, Warren, and George Washington agreed with you. He said,
"The political party, yeah, you don't want political party
government." They said,
and you know why? Yeah, because it would usurp the government, right? You have these collusions of people together who are not sanctioned by the government. They participate in government activities, but they're private entities, right? They could choose whoever they want to be their candidate. They give you the illusion that you can choose with your voting, which may or may not be rigged.
You want to see an racist, dementia-riddled rapist, or do you want the senile, dementia-riddled narcissist rapist?
Right. Yeah, pick your poison.
It's the same poison, just one of them's blue and one of them's red. I think I agree with Peace Dove. Can we just say thank you, Jimmy, for revealing the candidates? And that was a great primary for the Democrats. Yay! Hopefully, the Republican primary is going to be more exciting than this. Well, Willie Bragg, bro, Cornel West, 100% for me all the way, and nothing else. So you just said you wanted to outlaw political parties in general. Cornel West is running for the Green Party. What do you think about him, Warren?
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. All right, so I'm ready. I'm ready for your gotcha question.
I asked you a tough question. Answer it.
Yeah. I'm bringing it. I'm bringing you an ANSWER. No. Look, for people who are voting who like Cornel West, I'm not shitting on Cornel either. But I think what's going to happen with Cornel, he has the best shot of getting the message out to the most people that need to hear it, right? And I hope so. I hope he breaks through and brings people together. He's not going to win the presidency. Everybody said, well, everybody said Trump's not going to win. Well, that's different. A Green Party as opposed to like somebody in Republican Party, you're talking about AAA baseball and the major leagues. Come on, guys. It's not happening. So, but I wish him well in getting the message out to as many people as possible with his campaign. That being said,
I just want them to get that.
I just don't like the Green Party.
The 12.
I don't like the Green Party.
Nobody knows what the Green Party is. They're too divided.
It morphs.
There's a black caucus.
It changes. It's like an amoeba.
Yeah.
It's like one of those shapeshifters from Star Trek, man. It's just, it's like, I'm like this little smooth faced dude. Now I'm like a table and shit. It's like, what the fuck are you, Green Party?
That's what I need from the Cornel West. Cornel, if you're serious about running for president, you need to take your party, the Green Party, and you need to be the leader of the Green Party. And you need to get your party in check. So that's what the Green Party is lacking. They're lacking leadership, and they're lacking organizing, and they're lacking these things that could make them competitive to duopoly system. And I really am. I agree with you, Warren. I'm tired of them floundering around in their little, their little sections and factions. It's like literally can't win like that. We can't win like that.
The Green Party is the love boat. Every week is somebody different. There's somebody new that's guest starring on that motherfucker, and I'm like, come on, guys. you know. And then you have who was the guy that ran was it Howie Hawkins? That motherfucker who's like Mr. Mandate. Like, well, lock him down. On your mask. I'm scared of everything in the world. Fuck you, Howie Hawkins. You fucking low.
How do they even not pick the nominee? Like, it's always different.
Yeah, I know, man. That you know what that is? That isn't cigars in the back room. That's joints around the corner of the Sackins.
Yeah, joints and dice dice on the sidewalk.
Yeah, dice in the alley. It's joints and dice in the alley. That's how they choose the Green Party candidates, son. Right? 6.
Yeah, bro. 6. Oh, Jill side.
Boxcars. It's Howie Hawkins.
Oh, God, bro.
Yeah, fuck that. You know, that's what I said. Look, yeah. I appreciate Cornell. I definitely, as far as coming from a good place, he's above and beyond like RFK, and I don't care how many good deeds RFK is done. You know, he's guilt by association as far as I'm concerned with that whole fucking family.
He's got a D right next to his name. That makes him the enemy of me.
He's proud of that D. So. He's proud of that D, right?
Yeah. Now I'm glad I can come out and say that now. I gave them a little chance. I let them do their little dances, but guys, it's time to shut these guys the fuck up. These two parties have usurped the reins of government. And they should, according to the Constitution, they should already be hanging from the Liberty Tree. So I didn't say it. The Constitution did. Okay? I'm not advocating for violence. But if you read the Constitution, there's something about the blood of tyrants. But anyway.
You're trying to get the Constitution canceled. The hell kind of commie show is this?
It was already canceled.
Snacks. I don't even see any snacks.
The Constitution got canceled a long time ago. It was 9/11. That canceled it, bro. Patriot Act canceled it.
Where's my shit? I got shit in here. Wait a minute. There.
Guys, we'll be right back after this. I'm just kidding. Technical difficulties. Bro, I need to get all of your freaking toys, Warren. By the way, I haven't had these many people on my live stream. So they're all you're literally popular. I hope you guys come back. I love all of you. But Warren, you brought me a lot of people. You're 17 people on the live stream.
Huh? Who? How many?
What? 17.
What? Woo! Welcome, everybody.
Let's read some of these comments. I'm voting for Joe Pesci. You see the comments?
Yeah, I see them.
Okay, good. Yeah, so they're all here for you, bro. Bulla 2024. See that, bro?
I love these are my
You're more popular than Marianne Williamson, bro. Just so you know.
These are the guys that bail me out on Saturday nights when Daddy gets a little tore up and starts saying some shit to the popo he shouldn't be saying.
You're fucking hilarious, bro. I love your show on Saturday nights. I watch it all the time.
You'll have to. You know what? You'll have to come on. Not this weekend. We're off this weekend because I'm going to visit nature this weekend.
Are you going to do shrooms? You're doing shrooms?
No. Well, the shrooms will be in the pasta that I'll be eating at the cabin. That's going to be having this catered thing going on. So it's not really an out. It's technically will be outside, but it's really some fancy shit. Anyway, I don't know. It's kind of a side thing. But next week is the 69th Secret Show. So that means we're bringing the whole Hee Haw gang on there. So far, I think Willie Bragg said he was going to be on. DJ Hyona, maybe the Chicago Corner Boys. Jerry and Ed possibly will be on there. So you're welcome to come along too, sir.
I would love
come
to
along and ride on that. Yeah, come along and ride on that fantastic voyage. Slide, slippity slide.
There are so many comments right now. I'm trying to show them all because like I'm trying to be equality, but you guys are writing too much. Bulla, so they can find you where? And talk about your Substack. You want to give yourself some credits here?
Okay, sure. Since you twisted my arm. Yeah, I do. I every once in a while, 69 Skip. You damn right. I don't do the Substack very often. When I do, it's usually just like something that comes to me and I wanted to talk about political parties at that point. So I just wrote every once in a while. I'll write a little something, but mostly like the shows will go on there. But to find me, I am at on Twitter at W Dearman, Dearman, like you're writing a letter to man. Dear man. No antlers, none of those. I'm also so Extra Bull is also on YouTube. We're on Facebook under WarDeer Entertainment. So if you find that, that's fine too. We're on Rockfin and Rumble. We have a presence on Odyssey, but don't really use it that much. So, but it's a backup. It's kind of like our little side. You know what it is, Odyssey? And I hope nobody from Odyssey's listening when I say this. Odyssey's like that chick at the end. Odyssey's the chick at the bar at the end of the night that you didn't score with anybody else, but you knew that one was good to go. So that's like what Odyssey is.
In the grassroots.
Odyssey is the easy broad at the end of the night.
So she's Marianne Williamson. Oh. Got it.
You use her when you need to, boys. Sorry, that was very misogynistic. I should not have said that. I don't have to.
Somewhere, Emma Vigeland is crying. Just to let you know, guys.
I hope so. She should. Oh, she's probably drinking the tears of children as we speak. She likes that. She calls it Kool-Aid.
Now you're in big trouble, bro. They're coming for you, bro. They've got a big following. They're almost like Willie told me about Vaush and Anna, right? They're going off on each other. I don't know. Just purely because I'm superficial, I'm on Anna's side. Because Vaush looks like the Ghostbusters marshmallow.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Do you think he looks like him?
Yeah, with facial hair. Don't you think?
Oh, you mean he's got like that marshmallow-sized head, like it's shaped, like it's kind of square but kind of roundish.
Yeah, it's like that's why you're so angry. That's why you're so angry and still shilling for Democrats. Oh, wait a second. We need to think logically. Vote Democrat. Yeah, totally, Vaush. Totally.
Look, okay, you got to help me out here. How are we going to get people out of these political parties, dude? How can we get? Wait, before you answer, let me ask you this: do you think we should get rid of political parties? And if you say no, I'm not going to be like mad at you or nothing. So go ahead.
I would be mad. I have anxiety attacks just thinking about how much power these guys have. How much times they've taken us to war, they slapped us in the face, taken our tax dollars, robbed us, and then we blame Trump. The programming and brainwashing is so real. They could have me killed. They could have one of us killed, and they blame Trump, bro. Do you know what that means? The ramifications of that means that none of us are safe. None of us are safe, and we don't have justice, and we don't have truth. And it gives me anxiety attacks just to think about how much power these guys have on our minds and how much they can program us to literally hate someone so much that they ignore everything the other side's doing. It makes me scared. It scares the shit out of me, Warren, to be honest with you.
Trump, okay, this is another old person reference. So all my old peeps out there, you're welcome. So there's this comic strip called Family Circus, right? And in the newspapers, back then we had these things called newspapers, and they were actually paper. You read the news. Anyway, they may still have some somewhere, but
not the New York Times.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was toilet paper. That in the Washington Post.
Might as well be.
We laugh to keep from killing people. But anyway, anyway, what were we talking about? I totally forgot.
We were just talking about you had things that called newspapers back in your day, which was 1985.
Now you're just making fun of me. Why, you ancient motherfucker? I didn't come out here to be insulted. No, actually, I paid you extra to be insulted. I remember that being particularly in the rider to the show.
I'm just trying to be like, you're Jimmy Fallon.
Family Circus.
I'm trying to be that guy who reacts to Jimmy Fallon. Who's that guy? He's funny to Jimmy Fallon. You're good.
I promise I'll wrap up this story. So anyway, there was this cartoon called Family Circus, right? And the kids had this imaginary friend. It was basically this like Dollar Tree version of Casper the Ghost, right? It was like this little invisible person. And the person's name was Not Me, right? It had Not Me written on its body. It was like naked, but it didn't have any like, appendages like down there. But anyway, it says not me. So anyway, when the kids would do something and the parents would come in there like, they didn't say this, I'm paraphrasing, but they were like, who the fuck did this shit? Billy? And Billy says like, not me. And then like, this motherfucker, did you do it? She's like, not me. And then this little asshole, you do it? Not me. And then not me's over there like breaking dishes. That's part of the cartoon. That's what Trump
exactly
is.
Correct.
Trump is not me. Trump is not me from that cartoon. They blaming everything on this shit. He's breaking dishes, man. He time traveled and fucked shit up. Trump did all that shit. And it's got these ridiculous levels of blaming him for shit.
Yeah, I agree with you. But Skip says we are definitely robots when it comes to politics, but our minds are slowly becoming free. I hope so. Because guys, if we don't get free from these two parties soon, we're all going to need shrinks, drugs, and a lot of fucking I guess Trumps.
Well, I'll tell you the drug that we need to cure all this stuff is independent media. That is for sure. Shows like this and a lot of these other shows that are putting the word out about all these shenanigans going on. That's the thing. When you're trying to educate people about what's going down, what's really going down in the world, so you don't sound like
everybody look what's going down.
So you don't sound like one of these people that's wearing like tinfoil on your head, and you want to sound sincere. You want to be sincere, and you want to come off as sincere. Otherwise, people aren't going to listen to you, much less believe what you have to say.
And that's a lesson I learned from Marianne Williamson, for sure.
We have to hone our communication skills. We have to be able to learn how to communicate better with people that we don't normally communicate with, right? Find some common ground quickly right off the bat.
We can't just call them racist rednecks, Trumpist insurrectionists, though. What about that?
I mean, you could. They're probably used to hearing
it. Now,
sure. They call that Thursday. That's what just being called. Was it deplorable? Yeah, deplorable's another one.
Yeah, Wednesday's deplorables. Thursday's threat to democracy Thursday, and then Friday is going to be.
Let me ask you something.
Friday.
So let's say you go into like a strange city, like name a big city you've never been to in your entire life.
Boston.
Okay, so like you probably have no idea like the local stuff that goes on in Boston, right? So you go to Boston, and you're like doing all this shit that you do back home, and they're like, yeah. Things don't go like that around here. You're going to have to do that somewhere else, Quimby. You know what I mean? And they're like going to tell you to fuck off because you're not doing the shit you're supposed to be doing in Boston. You try to do this Texas shit in Boston, you're going to end up like, with underwear in inappropriate places.
I'll be like, hey, I'm Batman. Park the car, Harvard Yard. I like the socks.
Those pictures don't prove anything. That's going to be anybody's ass.
I'll go find Brad Pitt. Ben Affleck. I'll find Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They'll be somewhere around there. They could.
But the point is, like, if you're trying to. The point is, if you in Texas are trying to communicate with somebody in Boston, you need to figure out how to do it.
Don't mess with Texas, Don't mess with Texas. Right?
You gotta learn how to build a conduit. You got to build a conduit for the message, right? If you don't build a conduit, the message will just like a fart in the wind. It'll just dissipate. You have to contain it. You have to deliver it to the person, and then they have to understand it. You have to help them understand it, and then when you help them understand it, it's like, everything's cool.
You're totally right about that. So that's what we're trying to do here, guys, at Tommy Nation Politics. We're trying to be free-thinking, innovative, and open-minded. And I learned a lot from all the shows the indie media shows like yours, shows like Willie Bragg's, shows like who else is on here? Indie News Network. We're all that's what I really like about the indie media is that I can watch a whole bunch of different people and pick up some things. Oh, you know what? I really like Due Dissidence. I love Keaton's little. He's got a little syntax. He's like, well, I could literally listen to Keaton's voice all day long, bro. He's got that New York accent. It's very calming.
Okay. So they're both ex tour guides, and
Oh, that's why.
they're both ex theater guys too. So you get that cadence down.
Yes, the cadence. I love their cadences.
The
It's like
cadence.
it's like they're singing. I love it. But guys, we're out of time. Thanks so much, Warren, for coming on and fellowshipping with me. And yeah, let me know when I can be on your show. You're welcome anytime, bro. Guys, hopefully y'all come to the live stream anytime you want. This is Top Nation Politics. They'll be free thinking, innovative, and open minded. And I'm going off, guys.